What is going on, everybody? Okay, Andre here, and I got my boy Mike with us today. And man, I have something special for you guys. This man is about to put out his own project, and what I would say, I didn't even know this man is as cool as he is until he started showing us. He has so many cool NFTs. He does so many cool things in IRL, so I'm really excited to bring him to you guys today. So make sure you guys follow along. If you're driving in the car, make sure you guys just turn up the volume and relax and enjoy. But what's up, Mike? How are you, bro?
Good, good, good. Staying busy in the space nonstop, as you know.
Yeah, we know this space has been really crazy lately, especially with the bear market and then all these projects trying to release, not being successful. But I had the craziest morning of craziest mornings just finding out one of the projects that I'm in. The dude just got scammed for all of his crypto, everything that he had left. Like, this space is literally turning into the wild, wild west right now.
Yeah. Now, to me, like, I don't like to throw projects out there, but when I hear the project, like, person behind it says, "Oh, I lost everything," I almost feel like it was an exit scam.
Right?
Like, let me act like I lost everything, and then the community can't be mad at me for rug pulling them. So, I think as somebody running a project and developing it, you have to take even a higher level of responsibility because if that happens and they start selling from your wallet, it just burns the whole community. So it's a tough balance. I mean, obviously, you guys have the Golden Ticket Club, and you guys went through a bad experience. So it can happen to good communities as well.
Yeah.
So you got to just be careful out there. Like you said, it's the wild wild west, and there's no honor amongst thieves. So we got to be
Man.
careful out there.
And I feel like this is just making it easier for them, and we have to be more and more careful. And that makes it hard to get new people into the space, because nobody wants to go and really take a risk. I mean, there are some people, you go to the casino, you throw $1,000 on, you lose that $1,000, they not questioning it. That's the name of the game. But here, people are like, it's 1,000. They get mad. They're like, "This is $1,000. Like, this is my hard-earned money," and they take it so personally. And then when the next person hears that horror story, even if it's just a couple $100, it makes them so skeptical of the space, which really, really hurts the space. Don't you think?
Yeah, it's the onboarding aspect of it. I talk about that all the time where I let people know when, you have a responsibility of someone who is new in the space of trying to be careful. And when you onboard people, teaching them the right way. I used the example the other day on a space where I was like, if you, when you're raising your children, you don't just tell them that everything is cake and everything is cookies and cream and
Right.
everything is sweet and everything's
The
nice.
world is
You got to
nice.
prepare them for the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and especially when it comes to money, I don't care what space you're in. It could be stocks, it could be crypto, it can be the NFTs, it can be you're selling stuff. There's always going to be people out there taking advantage of you. I think we both come from the sneaker,
Yep.
the sneaker end of it.
Yep.
And all the fakes out there. I bought in
Woo.
Jordan 1 off whites, got them in,
Bro.
they're fake.
Bro. Me
So you
too.
just got to be careful. You know how it is. Yeah, I mean,
Literally.
you're not going to tell people to just buy sneakers from anybody out there. You're going to tell them, look, you got to get them quality controlled, check they're legit. Same thing in the NFT space. It's pretty crazy to say the least. I've learned a lot. So
Yeah.
luckily, I haven't fallen victim to any of that yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah. Knock on that wood, boy. Woo.
Yes,
But
yes.
it's really awesome to see where you have come in life and become such a great influence on not only me and Christine and the Golden Ticket, but on many people, and just the way that you present yourself and the knowledge that you give, and trying to give back to the community is it's really awesome. Like, what before NFTs, crypto? I'm sure you've probably been in crypto for a long time, but what was your life before NFTs?
Um, family, I think is probably the most important thing. We can start there. It's one of those where I'm not a privileged person to begin with. I was raised in Staten Island, New York, and I was raised by Park Hill, which is where Wu Tang's from. So
Oh
Shaolin,
shoot!
for anybody out there, shoot
Oh
it out.
shoot!
Went to school with Raekwon, the chef's brother,
Nice.
for like 3 years in elementary.
Nice.
But it's just one of those when you don't have anything, you appreciate it as you're growing up. You have different folks out there where some people are privileged and they want to continue the work maybe their parents did. While with me, it was one of those where my dad couldn't read, so I had to grind and everything that I have and
Yeah.
makes me appreciate it. So the journey that I've come, between my family and work, I come from a sales background. I've done sales pretty much my whole life in customer service. So I like to relate to people. I always say you got two ears and
Yep. One
one
mouth.
mouth. Yeah, you need to listen and see more than you talk. So as somebody who likes to talk, though, I've learned to balance, you know, teaching people and giving them a chance and understand them. So, it's just between my sales, customer service, and everything that I appreciate with my family we have. I love to give back to people. And the NFT space, I came here from sneaker Twitter, from reselling Twitter, from reselling Twitter to stocks Twitter,
Nice.
and
Nice.
from stocks to option trading.
Nice.
I actually got the name Mike Maker Millionaires because I had a lot of folks who were in a position where they seen me be very successful trading options in a group that was a paid for group that I was in. And they said, "Hey, Mike, let's do a challenge." And I started doing these challenges that I became famous for, where I would take a set amount of money, let's say like $5,000 or $3,000, and I would post every option play I did in and out. And we took one where we did $1,000 starter. We took it to 10 grand. Actually, went to 13 grand. So
Nice.
literally, if you started with me at 1,000, you ended with at least $13,000 within
Nice.
2 weeks.
Very nice.
Also, we did one where it was like 3,000. We turned it to 67,000 in a private Discord. So
Jesus.
yes, so I come from that, and that's where the name came from. I actually was my Discord name was Tesla Maker Millionaires because we made a lot of money on Tesla, and then
Nice.
they were like, "No, Mike, now that you do it, you're the Maker Millionaires," and ran some projects that I got into as investor with crypto from there. Started getting into the meme coin space. Got to learn the meme coin space and how it's very from Shiba. I got in, and then I went into a
Nice.
project that I liked. Made money on Shiba, went into 80 finance, did really well there. I pushed the community up. I feel like I had a good following from there. But I got burned out of the meme space. I felt like it was very toxic.
Yeah.
Went into the NFT space, learned about Bored Apes early. Should have bought five, but no one onboarded me. No one taught
Ah.
me.
Yeah.
Yes, I had 25K ready to invest into Bored Apes when it was like $3,000 to $5,000 each,
Ah,
and no one showed me how to do it. So I
bro.
missed the boat on that. Got into Lazy Lions. That was the first community that I like really like fell in love with. Wicked Craniums was in there as well, and from there, I'm here now teaching people, trying to onboard them, and going into projects that I really like. You see me with the DGen Tune shirt. Obviously, you guys have the Golden Ticket Club, and I love, as you know, the Golden Ticket Club. I support you guys 100% as an investor. Not as part of the team, but
Yeah.
literally just as an investor that really loves the work you and Christine do. And that's what led me to where I'm at now, man. Big about onboarding, big about teaching, and if I can make it, you can make it. Where the
Facts.
Wagner.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And a lot of people like, oh, WAGMI is dead. No, it's not, bro. It's just the bear market and this whole space has created its own negativity, which wasn't even needed. When everything was going up, oh, nobody cared about what anybody said. But now that things are going down, everybody's like meticulously looking at everybody and everything that they're saying and what is it? What's the word? Like they're
They're
uh
critiquing
yeah,
everything, and they're
critiquing.
going back and they're checking it. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what's making this space, so toxic. So I think that's really awesome that we have good people that's still trying to bring positive energy. And there's a lot of good people out there still trying to bring the positive energy. And then we have the shit posters and all that stuff, the ones that love to just create that controversy. And I mean, hey, with good comes the bad, and it's a little entertaining at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's awesome. I mean, it's a crazy world and that you went down. So did you teach yourself how to go down and learn options and learn trading and all of those things?
Yeah, a lot of people all the time are like, "Hey, I can't learn this, I can't learn that," and I'm like, "Yo, you ever heard of YouTube?
Right.
There is a wealth of information that you can do. You can go and type anything in YouTube and find it. You just got to scrub through the good and the bad. I've learned that. I made plays in crypto based off of YouTubers that were pumping, and you learn,
Yeah.
okay, this guy is in it for the money. This guy's genuine. You start seeing the real people in the space,
Right.
and you start learning who to follow. So yes, most of the stuff I've done, but I've learned a lot from people in groups. Like when you join a group, I'm like a leech. I'm like, yeah, I want to learn everything. Like
Yeah.
teach me. So
Yeah.
I've learned from a ton of great people by example, watching them. Seeing what they were doing, asking questions.
Right.
For instance, like Golden Ticket Club. if I know I needed something, I can go to you or Christina and be like, hey, I got a question. How do you set this up? Or do you
Right.
recommend anybody? You learn the
Right.
good people by not jumping in and analyzing, taking a step back. So yeah.
Exactly, exactly, and that's the kind of approach that I took into the space. Is I really with NFTs, I didn't have nobody to really onboard me or tell me anything. Even with crypto, I just did it myself, and I learned through my own mistakes. I didn't even have anybody teaching me. It was just, oh, go here, made money there, lost money here, and I just picked and learned and taught myself all the way through. But what I started doing is I started learning the back end of things, how projects are ran, how contracts are created, what people like to hear in communities, because at the end of the day, if we look at a lot of these projects that are very successful right now, one is that they had the capital to get there. To be truly
Yes.
honest with you, it wasn't completely the community. Everybody says community, community. Yes, community is the number one most important thing after mint. I 100% wholeheartedly agree that before mint, it's all about promotion, it's all about marketing, it's all about getting in front of everybody's faces, and that costs money. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. They think, oh yes, you can host spaces every single day, but the thing is, you're limited to my following, Christine's following, your following, right? And we're picking people one at a time, one at a time. But when these projects really blow up, look at Moonbirds, for example, and I love to give this, they put so much money behind that mint and so many wallets behind minting that to make it look like this is the next big thing. Look at it
Yeah.
right now. What's going on?
Yeah, it's just dropping. It's the cycle. Me and Crypto Mike, who's my partner in the venture that we're doing. One of the things that we found is that to do a project like ours, you're talking about 10,000 image project. We spent a lot of money in order for the artwork. Then we have to spend for the development. We spend money for the website. A lot of stuff you're
Exactly.
putting out there. And then the marketing aspect's really tough because I believe in organic. I don't. We even tried. We paid one guy, and then he just flooded our Discord with bots, and we had to kick them all out and tell the guy like, dude,
Ah,
yeah, you said there was no bots. This is literally all the
all
same people.
bots. Yeah.
Yeah, and I tested it out because I did a giveaway and tagged everyone. I was like, hey, I'm gonna buy people dinner. All you gotta do is click the button, and guess what? There was only like 25 people at the time that clicked the button, and there's like
Oh shit.
300 people flood into Discord. I was like, yeah, and it wasn't even those people; it was the people already in there. So,
Right.
yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, it's everyone wants to do a project, but everyone doesn't have the money, and they don't realize that. So, I definitely understand exactly what you're talking about. Will you have your puppy in the background, or are you talking to your girl?
Yeah, no, my freaking husky, dude. He has ADD. He was sitting there 2 seconds ago, and then he found a toy. Now he's going crazy for the toy, and then now he's
I
sitting.
get it, man.
He's
It's the
sitting
hard
right
part
here.
about being on video, man, with animals. I
Yeah.
got my dogs in the cage. They're in like a big playpen area,
Yeah.
so that way they just chill. I hear them whine and they're like, ah,
I
like come
know.
get me.
That's
So
how my
I get
husky
it.
is. Oh
Yeah.
man. But yeah, no, and that's crazy, the Discord thing, because that's also one of the hardest things now is getting transitioning people from Twitter to
To
Discord so
Discord.
that you
Yeah.
can herd them together and start giving them this information. But Discord its own self has brought its own, wrap of
Yeah.
the scams and everything like that. So now people are hesitant there. So even what I've been recommending to a lot of projects is make the Twitter communities. You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
people
Right.
on the Twitter communities, actually they don't really actually engage that much on the posts in there, but it's safer, right? And if you're
Yeah.
constantly posting and you have everybody put you moderate it perfectly, it could be done very well.
Yeah.
Um but that's also just maybe like a something that you guys could consider moving forward. Yeah, it's always good to have the Discord. I even for one of the projects I got Mook on to handle the Discord for one of the projects. He's doing amazing. Like he keeps people engaged. They talk. They monitor, make sure no links are. So it's very important that
Hard. It's
yeah,
hard on the Discord space because you also have the balance of, you got to protect the people in there. And,
exactly
if you're like, we all work full-time jobs and have families. And,
right.
I think one of the things that turned me off personally to Discord was the grinding of the whitelist and the
Yes,
grinding, hey, you're not paying attention to our project. We don't like you anymore. Hey, you sold one of the 50 NFTs you have. We're going to kick you out of the community. We're going to burn your NFTs, the
right,
new thing. And it's
right.
like, it's
Dude, I
getting
was I was one of the
crazy.
people that had a bot to talk for me in Discourse for whitelist. Like I
Yep,
was literally one of the people doing it because I just got so tired of it. Like
yep,
literally 12 hours of my day in there chatting. Like whoa, it was crazy. But
yep, yep.
Aside from NFTs, we all know, like you said, we have families, we have life, we have everything. Some people have kids. I don't have kids yet, but my dogs are freaking annoying. But on a daily basis, like how do you get through your day? Is it important to express gratitude throughout your day? How do you feel? How do you go about your day every day?
I mean, one of the things I have to do that I try to balance is making sure my family knows I'm here. I spend, especially in the past, I've spent hours and hours and days on Twitter Spaces and Discords and things like that. So I think you always have to take a step back out of that Web3 world and your real life. Make sure you're telling your family you love them and doing things like right before I got on this podcast, I took the kids to an ice cream shop, let them
Nice.
have some food, and then that's where you're like, "Hey, run a little late." I'm like, "Man, no problem. I'm still
Yeah,
driving.
perfect.
We're good. We're perfect." Yeah, and I think that's important. But then, like for someone like me, I get up. Depends if it's a day that I go to the gym or not. If I go to the gym, I get up, I go to the gym, get my son ready, bring him to daycare, get his food ready. Then I'm off to work. I go to work. Sometimes I'm there late, sometimes I'm not. I get home. I try to take care of my son, make sure he eats. My wife works also, so she's not always here. And then, we start this stuff. I'm constantly on my phone in and out. I try to support communities that I'm in when I can, whether it's hopping on a space while I'm at work, all
Right.
over. Sometimes I'm driving on a space, just to listen and stuff.
Exactly.
And Geico's flagging me. They're like, "You're on your phone," so I got to like come home and act like I was the passenger.
No.
Yes, they had to get an app. But it's just one of those where my day consists of making sure I balance work, family, and the Web3. And Web3 is becoming my job now because of projects. Whether I'm in one, because I feel like if I'm invested in your project, I'm investing in you like a business.
Right.
In my mind, as an investor, it's in my best interest to support my investment. No
Right.
different than a stock. I
Right.
have a Tesla. I have Tesla stock. Tesla's made me enough money to pay for my cars.
Nice.
So it's like I support that company. I have Tesla merch.
Right.
I'm a fanboy, but I learned to be a fanboy on the projects I'm in. I represent DGen Tunes. I have Mutant Ape clothing. I have for our ape. I have Golden Ticket. I support you guys where I do giveaways. I buy tickets, give them away. I just feel like my day consists of making sure I space myself out, but I've learned to take a bigger step back, and it gives me more production when I'm in it. If that
Exactly.
makes sense.
Exactly. And it's kind of like, okay, I've been reading this book. I have it right here. I'm not shilling this at all, but if you
Hmm.
want a good read, it's called The One Thing, right? And one thing that I've picked up from it so far is
You
that
wrote that book. You forgot to tell them, right?
I
And use
wish.
promo code on OK Andre.
I wish. No, I
Uh,
wish.
presented by Manscaped.
Exactly,
There you
exactly.
go.
No, it's the one thing, and it's saying when you're doing something in life, you focus on that one thing, whether no matter what it be. If you're a basketball player and then you're trying to run the streets and party and do all of this, you're not going to be successful in that world.
Yeah,
You need to
exactly.
focus in on the things that you're doing, and I'm applying that aspect to this because, to be honest with you, even with my podcast, I was a little nervous to start it. I was a little nervous of what people are going to think, even though we do spaces every single day. This is literally what I do every day, but I was nervous because this is something different. It's something new, and I was scared. So the last 2 weeks, I didn't even put out my first podcast yet until yesterday because I was like reading my book, and I was like, you know what? I need to stop being a little bitch and fucking go do my shit. So
That's it. That's it.
um, but
Congratulations, by the way, because it's called going outside of your box and out of your comfort zone. I listen to a lot of motivational speaking, and if you don't go out of your comfort zone, like you work out, right? So if you were to just
boy, hold
start,
on, let me. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
but if you come to the point where you're benching and then like you plateau, you need to push yourself harder, right? So you got to
Exactly.
be uncomfortable and doing your podcast. Now you're on the video camera. Now you have like where maybe you can fool around before, where being on space and be on your phone and you can be on the toilet bowl and doing your space,
Right.
but in the podcast it can be a lot harder. So I
Yep.
commend you for that. It takes a lot to do that. So congratulations, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So we all know, all right? Y'all, you got your project coming out. Tell us about it. This is, the people who say the non-sayers that Mike, that might be a Google mic. You know what I'm saying? Let them know who you are, what your project's about. This is.
Yeah. So we're Pirates of the Blockchain, and my partner Crypto Mike is actually the nerd. He's the back end tool of everything, literally the tool we like to say. And I'm more of the person who likes to engage with the community, the spaces, and talk about it. But We are 10,000 pirate NFTs. We picked pirates because when we were thinking of what kind of NFT, the animals were very hot at the time.
Yep.
We've been working at this project for almost a year.
Okay.
And I was like, man, you know what's really cool? Pirates. Whether it's sport teams or we went to St. Augustine, me and my family in Florida, and my son gravitated to the Pirates, the theme there, and he never really was in Pirates. And I'm just like, a lot of people and their kid love Pirates. So it's something that, like my DGen tune, I could wear his Thriller jacket in an event, but it's a cat. I'd look kind of silly.
Right.
So, at least a pirate, you can play that part, so it worked out really fantastic. And I feel like it's such an open concept where originally we had a roadmap. We actually burned our roadmap and we said, most projects that I'm in, I'd say out of 10 projects, 9.9 of them never follow their roadmap as it was laid out.
Yep.
Bored Apes. You can look at Lazy Lions, Degen Tunes. Maybe they said we were going to do a certain path, and because of things that happen in the market, it's always changing. It never goes as planned, right? We all know this. So I said instead of us coming out with a traditional roadmap, which we had, I was like, the market's going to change. So let's let the community pick the direction equally on what we want to do. What we'll do is, as founders, we'll give them choices, like, hey, here's some choices, let's vote. Then we'll scale it down, like you're seeing, like you guys are doing on Twitter today. Hey, these are the choices remaining. From here, we're going to pick until we,
Exactly.
like a bracket, and then we have one winner. And then the community are not going to come back us and go, well, Mike and Mike, why did you do this? We don't like this. Or, I'm like, hey, this is on the community. We're only putting out what you want. You guys want a game? We'll do a game. You
Right.
want us to do giveaways? We'll do giveaways. So charity work, whatever it is, I'm down for. But our plan basically is every 1,000 we mint, we're minting at 0.08. Every 1,000 we do a giveaway. So like the first giveaway is going to be out of my own personal wallet, a DGen tune. We also have Babe's Future. I may put some other stuff out there.
Nice.
I may add to it. The key is I want it to be worth about 1 ETH.
Right.
Okay. Plus, within our collection, there's 36, I want to say, skeletons. If you mint one of those, you're going to get a certain amount of ETH.
Nice.
We haven't closed the amount yet because Ethereum's changing so much. But you're going to get an airdrop where basically more than your mint's going to be free.
Nice.
From there, the first 100 people who mint at least 2 or more, you can mint up to 10 from a wallet. They get a third one for free. So if
Okay.
you do 10, you get 11. We're going to airdrop after the first 100 mint. Then every 1,000 from there, we're doing giveaways. We're going to give away a mutant ape. We're going to give away some other side land. And the grand finale at 10,000, we're going to have an event that's in South Florida. The location is already confirmed by the person who owns it. And we're going to give away a 2023 Corvette C8 2LT. I
Sheesh.
designed it. It was supposed to be my car. I'm giving it away through the project. And it's just one of those where I feel like I want to show people that there's more than Web3.
Yes.
Web3 is very important because it's about ownership, right?
Yes.
But in the real world, you need ownership as well. Your Web3 assets are only good when you cash them out.
Exactly.
I've been the millionaire in my crypto wallet, and I've seen it go from over $1 million, 1.3 million, down to $130,000.
Woo!
Yes. So after that, I learned a lesson, and I was just like, I'm diamond hand. I'm diamond hand. I tell people never sell, never sell, and then it wrecked me emotionally, where I was like, man, I became exit liquidity for people. So you learn
Yes.
from it. So I encourage people if they need to sell to sell, and because of that, our goal is that our community doesn't sell their OGs. We want you to hold your OGs because they're your raffle tickets, right? But after we mint the first set, we're going to go ahead and do another set of first mates, which are going to be our female pirates. Now
Okay.
that gives people something to sell.
Okay.
So it's going to be one of those where the second asset will give you something where, okay, well, I can sell this and make money on it. My OG is still going to have utility. Like, we always want our OG and our early adapters and holders to be able to get benefits from it. And if our community wants staking, if they want us to do coins, whatever it is, we're down for. So, there's a world of opportunity here in the pirate space.
Well, before you do that second one, give me a call because I got some ideas for you. This space is changing a lot, and this is something that I've
Yes.
noticed. And I want you
Uh-huh.
guys to be successful too, and I don't want nobody to steal our ideas. So after this, I will tell you my idea. Just remind me
Yes.
because I like what you're thinking, and yes, it's very important for projects to basically give value to their holders so that they don't have to sell their original OGs, right? And
Exactly.
I went from the same. I was diamond hand, diamond hand, diamond hand, bro. And I after I took my first wreck of diamond handing, I immediately said no more. Because the
Yeah.
very first project, or one of the very first projects I got in, was Angry Apes, and oh my god, it was crazy. I minted a number 50 rarity, and I was like, holy crap, like this is crazy, you know. And I was getting 4 ETH offers, 5 ETH offers, 8 ETH offers. I was like, holy crap, this is dope. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna forever hold this because one, it
Yeah.
could become a board ape or something like that, or two, I could just pull this out whenever I want. But I
Yeah.
didn't know is that as soon as the hype leaves that project, those offers leave. So I was just
Yeah.
sitting there, oh yeah, babe, look at this. I got a 4 ETH offer. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold on to this. I can pull this whenever I want. Come 2 months later, and I looked at the floor, and it was a point zero zero or point zero 0.03 floor, and the highest I could get. Luckily, I was still able to sell it for more than what I minted, thank God. But I ended up selling for
I feel
point
it.
0.5. So
Yeah.
from 8 to point 0.5, because that whole project died,
Yeah.
and that was something I didn't know in this space, and a lot of people don't know because I feel like the community pressures you to diamond hand, especially if you only have one. You have
Yeah.
to diamond hand. But at the end of the day, of course, like you said, this is a business, this is an investment. You want
Yep.
to take your profits when you can. And even if you are holding and you say, you know what, I'm going to hold with this project and stick with it, then we need to give value for those people to continue to hold.
Exactly, exactly. And
Oh,
that's why the hard part is you got to find the engagement. Like you
exactly.
have to be engaged. And I think what we fall victim to is you talked about your book that you're reading and focusing on one thing. I think we focus on too many projects,
Yes.
and it's not fair to the project for the community to be spread thin. It's also not fair for the founders to be in more than one. And like, I'm not a stupid individual. I take a step back and I see there's projects out there that I'm not going to name, but their artwork is done and they are driven by a certain community person, and then it'll be the same, like it's almost like they do a derivative or a different version of their own stuff,
Yes.
where the art is it's very much the same, but it's a different project
Yes.
and maybe a different creature,
Yes.
from animal to human. And I'm just like, it's the same. This is literally the same stuff. So, we have to be careful. And I think you're right. I find I'm learning more and more the curvature of, I learned it with meme coins, where they would literally shoot up, they'd go down, shoot back up, they'd go down one more time, they'd hit one more peak, and then they would go like this and just, it'd come like this,
Yeah.
fade away.
Right.
And NFTs, if you don't have a solid community or a solid, presentation to give them, it's going to do the same thing. And people are expecting bored apes. We have to stop thinking this
Yes.
is the next bored apes and start thinking this is the new NFT project to be in, things like that.
Right, exactly. And like you said, even with that downtrend,
Yeah.
that's when the most important time to be active with your community is, right?
Yep.
That's
Exactly.
where community building really comes into play. Like if you look, one of the projects I'm working on, a lot of people know it, is Hoo Hoo Street House. We haven't sold out yet, but every Monday, every Friday, we have our community in there doing open mics, doing talent shows. That's totally fine. We haven't sold out. And honestly, the community, they probably care, but they don't say anything because you know what? They have so much
I
fun
got
in our
fun.
spaces,
Yep.
right?
It's a ticket.
They're having so much fun with the experience, and that's what it is making NFTs an experience. Why do board apes? Because they create the experience. You're literally flexing a Lambo, right? In Twitter, you could go to these events, people recognize board apes because this celebrity has one and this person they created that experience. And
Yep.
that's what it's really all about, is creating that so that people say this was worth my money.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I could tell you, I went to that Central Florida get together, and I had a Bored Ape shirt on. I have a OG Bored Ape shirt that I bought on eBay.
Nice.
It is authentic, I made sure. But the only reason why I wore it though is my Mutant Ape shirt. The quality was really bad. You wash it one time, it cracks in the back.
No.
So yeah, I don't want to be wearing some busted up shirt to an
Yeah.
event. So I wore it, and I had people come up to me like, "Oh, you're wearing the OG shirt." And then I talked with Swole. I talked with a few people in there that had apes. Zungri, as everybody knows Zungri. I FaceTimed him, and I was like, Zungri, check this out. And then the guy's like, I know Zungri, and we were all talking, and we have a mutant, me and Mike, in our community, and so does these guys have apes and Zungri has a mutant. So it builds that bond, right? Like Zungri's a professional boxer. He's on TV. He's on pay
Yeah,
per view, and I'm FaceTiming him because we had a common bond. And I think that's the thing that you're hitting on, and it's a home run with me. It's the community aspect, the networking aspect, but at the same time making sure you are branching out with those connections in the real world, not just on the computer, because then you're never going to get the right experience out of it. So yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. I seen it's so funny. The other day I was walking around and somebody had what project was it?
Was it like a doodle or
No, it wasn't even that big. It was a smaller project, but everybody kind of knows it. Smiles.
okay?
And that's a whole fashion project, right? And I think somebody created their own shirt or something, but it said Smiles and they had the NFT on the back. They're just walking around and it looks like a normal graphic tee, but I knew what it was and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool." But nobody else knew what it was because they don't have that recognition yet. And not saying that all projects have to get that global recognition, but man, does it feel good when somebody goes, "Hey, you got that? I have one of those too." Like, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I seen Bored Ape like that. We went to a John Legend concert, and it was funny because I'm sitting there. It was like a pre-concert thing because it was a meet and greet. So they're doing a thing where they're talking to John Legend. I'm sitting there with my wife, and I first I noticed the guy on my right, the sneakers he's wearing, and I'm telling him, and then I look at his watch. I'm like, all right, he's flexing.
Yep,
This guy's
the
got a nice
first two.
watch.
You look at the shoes,
Yeah.
you look at the watch.
And then I look to my left and I see this guy with a Bored Ape shirt. And I'm telling my
Um,
wife, I said, "Oh, that's that ape thing I was telling you about." And then she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Over there, he must have a Bored Ape." And I really wanted to go to him and be like, "Hey, man, I like your shirt."
yeah,
So you're 100% right with that. It's especially if like I'm wearing my DGen Tune shirt and they're coming out with merch, right? This isn't their merch. This is one of the community members decided to bless me with the shirt actually.
nice.
And that's the thing in the communities you see. There's a lot of talented people, artists. I had somebody draw this DGen tune for me on a little canvas on a giveaway I won. He put the earring in it and everything. There's like an earring. I thought he'd miss it. He put the earring on the canvas, like legit an earring.
Nice.
So I mean, it's recognition, right, in the project, making it a brand, and
Exactly.
that's what we hope to do with the Pirates. I think it's a good thing. We want to go to like a Tampa Bay Buccaneer game and get a bunch of tickets for our community and do a giveaway and make it RSVP. If you can show up,
Oh,
yeah, you get in, and we're gonna go watch a Buccaneer game, and we can wear our pirate merch, hopefully, stuff
yeah,
like that. So, a
that's
lot of
cool.
good things planned. Hmm.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, as long as you keep building with the community, let them know that they feel safe, that this is a good place, that their investment's not just going to some hole down Ethereum lane and never coming back.
Yeah,
It's very important. And
a Hawaii vacation, right?
yeah,
You hear that
exactly.
all the time.
Exactly. And that's also honestly why I've been so hesitant to really put out like my own first art project is because when I come with it, I want to come with it full blast. It's completely done all
Yeah,
the way around, and something honestly I don't feel right without coming to something with the space that's going to be different. Like you said, everybody's been doing animals, you guys did pirates, like and
exactly.
that's what I want to do. I want to bring something different to the space, and it may not take, but whatever. At least I didn't follow the same path everybody else is doing.
Yeah, it's good to me. Like I think it's a compliment if somebody takes some stuff from a project and mixes it and blends it into their own thing. Like I was inspired by Golden Tickets giveaways where I was like, man, I love the fact that they do so much for their community, and I was like, I have to implement some form of giveaway in our project, and I was like, what better way to give somebody a chance to mint than to have a chance to win like something really dope and
Exactly.
early adapters. And it also, in my mind, I'm like, well, it should help the floor because if someone sells, like me, I'm buying up floor stuff on Golden Ticket Club from the first mint. I'm
Exactly.
like, yo, that's cheap. Buy, 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 buy,
Right.
because I know how many I want to have of each month because of the way the project works. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, the same concept. If we make it where early adapters are in every giveaway, well, if someone sells one, people are gonna be like, "Oh, I don't care what month it is because that's the most recent one or in the past.
Exactly.
Let me scoop it up." So it has more than rarity value to it.
Exactly.
So just a way to give back.
That's awesome. And I love that, and I'm really happy that you guys are building in the space and doing something, to give back to the community. That's why I really loved it. And I was like, yeah, we got to support Mike. And I get hit all the time by the homies, yo, this is my project. This is
Yeah.
it. Come support, come man. I'll give you the
Uh-huh.
white list. Like, Bro, I get it. And to be honest with you, I took all my ETH out. I took all my ETH out a long time ago. And that's why like people would literally on the spaces be like, Dre, yeah, you can't be in here unless you have a good NFT. And I'm like, bitch, I don't have a good NFT. You're right, but I got my ETH still.
Yeah, I got my money
Like
in my, yeah.
I still got, and I look at people and I'm like, who cares? At the end of the day, it's like we support each other, and but at the end of the day, we all gotta live. We all gotta make money. And a lot of people, like, I choose to focus on this 100%. I, project advise, I community build, I do my own trading from January to April 1st. I did 100,000 in ETH trading, just flipping NFTs. Great. That's freaking awesome.
It's
But
crazy, yeah.
if we, like you said, your portfolio went from 1.3 to 103. And when life this could all go away, right? But you need that money to continue living, right? You got to
Exactly.
feed your family. You got to pay rent. So at the same time, we got to encourage people to be able to take their profits to make money to continue to be in this space.
Yeah, it's a balance. It's my most popular space I ever hosted on my own was one called, and people were coming because of the title, Collector versus Investor.
Oh,
It was a huge space. I had some celebs came in. I had some bigwig board apes, some punks. I mean, there was people in there that I'm just like, oh, let's get him on stage. Let's get her on stage. And it was such an amazing space because I think that's the big debate we have, right? Collector versus investor, and
right,
you have to learn that you can be both.
right.
Like you go and you work your way as a collector investor, but I think right now the space that we're in is so unstable that you have to put your investor hat on
Yes.
and look at it more as an investor than a collector at this point. And if you make to me, if you make enough money on, let's say you mint a project and you sell one piece that pays for the rest of your collection, you can be a
Exactly.
collector, right? You got nothing
Exactly.
to lose, no
Yes.
skin in the game. And I think that's the part we all miss. It's the same flow. What happens pre-reveal? Things are pumping. Right before it reveals, you start seeing people sell.
Yep.
People are trying to mint a rare one, and I think we have to be especially careful. And why we almost didn't start our project now is the free mints. I'm scared of hell of free mints because I
Yes.
know by looking in the back end, people don't realize how many wallets they are buying from. Like you were talking about, I mean, I wanted to like say, stop, let's talk about that.
Right.
They mint from wallets, they get trending on icy tools,
Yep.
they start pumping it, and then as soon as you get a little traction, what are they doing? They're dumping.
They're
And
offloading.
they're
Yep.
transferring to other wallets. They're trying to, but the thing is, it's all in the ecosystem. If you
Exactly.
see wallets that only minted this one project and it's constantly selling, 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 I mean, it's red flags.
Yeah.
You just got to be careful out there, So
Yep. A lot of people
mhm.
don't understand that. They think this is all organic. It's totally not, guys.
It's not.
Don't be
It's not.
fooled. That are like even these Freeman projects. Best believe there's wallets. You go look at them. Oh, there's 10 wallets with 100 in them. How did that
Yeah.
happen? And that's the first NFT that it minted.
Yeah.
That. But people don't look at these things because you have to have the knowledge to even trace these kind of things.
And no one tells them.
No,
That's the
exactly.
key, and that's why I love talking to folks like you guys, where it's like, look, these are our experiences, and it's people miss that. And like I said, the biggest lesson for me is missing the original Bored Apes because, and I could have got
Man,
in after it pumped a little bit. And the way I am, I'm such a degen that like if I bought five of them for 25 grand, let's say, when it was pumping, 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 I would have invested more because I would have
yes.
been sold on the community early. I
Yep.
probably would have had 10.
Yeah.
And, it's just one of those where it's, we need to be out there. The good people need to be heard so people can go and talk. Like the Golden Ticket Club, the reason why I support you guys is I tell people, I tweet you all the time. I'm like, if you want to learn about NFTs or the space, go in there and ask questions. These people will help you. And I think we are so quick to get, no offense to goblins and goos and monsters and owls and cats and you get in a room. How onboarding is it if let's say I'm trying to onboard my wife? Hey babe, come over here. Listen to the goblins. She's gonna be like, "Are you fucking retarded? Like, this is
Facts.
not you put how much money into this project?" She's gonna be like, "Sell that right now.
Right.
Go pay something. Go build me something in this house."
Right.
So I think it's one of those where people should do regular onboarding spaces, and literally every day there should be one person out there doing an onboarding space where it's like, "Hey, learn this
Exactly.
Step one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's so much out there for us to learn. And I don't care, you've been in the space maybe longer than me, but we're not experts.
Nope.
There is nobody in the space that's an expert because we're the cavemen and women of the NFT space. We're drawing art on the walls that 20 years,
Exactly.
1,000 years, 100,000 years, people are going to look back and go, wow, look at
Look at
how
that.
dumb they
Look at
were.
that monkey.
How basic.
Look
Yeah,
at the
look how basic
goblin.
they were. Yeah,
Yeah.
and in the future, it's going to be where like I actually, when I went to the Central Florida thing, this one project they do where they make your image, they splice it up, and it makes it where it's 3 dimensional. You can walk around it. You
Right.
can take your NFT and have it where mist is coming down, and you can have your NFT and it looks 3 dimensional, like the
Nice.
hologram with Tupac Shakur.
Yeah.
They do that for NFTs basically,
Nice.
and
Very
it's
nice.
sick. So there's so much in the space that we don't even know yet that's going to be happening.
Going on to that topic, what do you think the future of the blockchain of NFTs looks like to you? Where do you see this heading?
A giant rug pull. No, I'm kidding. Let me stop. Look,
Whoa!
I'm going to see your face. Look. No. Realistically, I think that we're so early. I see the future as driver's license, as deeds to houses. I see concert tickets on the regular. Um, Even when you get a ticket, like let's say a police officer pulls you over and gives you a ticket, it's
Fuck.
going to be an NFT. You know why?
Fuck.
When you go to court, you can't say, "Well, he didn't give it to me." It's proof of ownership, baby. It shows that there's no denying it. I think that everything that is it, I look at an NFT as this, and I don't think people do. It's a receipt,
Yes.
okay? Because you're buying a
Thank
token.
you. Oh my God, I've
It's
been
it's
telling
just
people
a
this.
receipt.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a verification. It's like a trademark.
Right.
It's almost like having a title to a house that says you own this. You can come in my house just like you can steal my picture.
Right.
Doesn't mean you own it. You
Right.
can't sell it
Right.
without my permission. So, it's the same way when people get scammed. I feel bad for people, but you authorize that transaction somehow.
Yes.
Whether you left something open and people hacked into your email, you put some footprints. There's a reason why it says write it down and put it someplace safe. It
Yep.
doesn't say leave it on your computer or on your phone.
Yep.
That can be hacked.
Yep.
So it's one of those where you have to authorize it. Just like if I sell you my car, I have to sign a title to you.
Exactly.
So the trademark and the aspect of it being a token, all it's doing is a verification. It's a complex verification of ownership. Is what
Exactly.
an NFT is basically to me.
Exactly. No, I agree. And that's the same analogy that I use. It's literally a receipt. We're not going to say NFTs anymore. You can say, did you get your receipt? That receipt is going to be an NFT. Whether you're shopping at the grocery store, you're buying a car, you're buying a house. That's honestly
Yep.
where I want to go with this space. I want to figure out how to build that technology to be able to go to businesses and say, here's a better working system for your company, and then be able to sell them that technology. That's where but I'm not smart enough to code that together. I need to put myself around the people that can make it.
You want me to get you the guy's number that was at the event that does
Hey,
that?
we
Because
need to
you can
make it
sell it for him.
happen.
No, he does. So like StockX, think StockX, right? So what the guy does is he does verification of everything. Like he was the first. I don't know if you know this or not. I'm sure you probably do because you're so heavy in the space. The first house sale
Yep.
of an NFT was in Tampa.
Yep.
So it's my neck of the woods, not far from me. And it's one of those where that shows you where we're going. And what he does is he does like a StockX of merchandise. They do like
Mm,
commodities.
yes.
So if you, let's say gold, they have a bunch of gold.
Right.
Well, you can buy an NFT and now it fractionalizes that commodity.
I
So
see.
let's say a house, like let's say me and you want to invest in a house.
Right.
Okay. Instead of me buying it, we can buy a piece of it through an NFT. And now that investment piece, we have fractional ownership of one thing.
Exactly.
And that's where the NFT space is also going to be is fractionalization of ownership of merchandise and commodities and goods and property.
Well, look, if you guys want to fractionalize, let's go buy a Bugatti. I get to drive it though, but you guys can all own a piece of it.
There you go, right? You're going to rent it out and have somebody crash it like the C8 you were
Oh my
talking about.
God, dude. I have horror stories in that world. But yeah, no, that's where I really want to go with this space, because my vision of where NFTs are going is not JPEGs. It's not metaverse. It's I feel like it is, and where the real money is going to be is the person that can take this technology, go explain it to uh Nike and say, "Hey, here's a verification right from the factory that this shoe goes with this box and that it's from you guys." And when the
Yeah,
person is buying it, all they have to do is go scan this little whatever it might be NFT
verify.
QR code, it is verified authentic from the shoe to the box to your hands, and
Yeah.
that's where it is. Because one of the guys that I've been watching and reading about, he created the technology that every airport in the United States runs off of. Every transaction that runs through an airport, he gets 1 cent from it for the
Oh, it's
rest of
like
his
that
life.
guy. I watched the thing where the guy asked, like, "What do you do for a living?"
Yeah,
And the guy said, "Yeah, the terminals that people swipe their card." He goes,
exactly.
"Yeah, I get a tiny fraction of every
That's
transaction." So
him.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's him. So I started looking into who he was and how he created that technology and the story behind that. And literally, all he did was create a secure transaction terminal for airports. What is blockchain supposed to be? A secure
yeah,
transactional blockchain. So, who's the next person that's going to take this technology to an airport, to a basketball, team, to the NFL, to the NBA, to the post office, everywhere, and say, hey, here's this secure transactional database that you guys can work off of, and you guys can run it, host your own servers, do all of these things, and sure, it might cost a little bit on the beginning. Every business knows that upgrading when AWS was made, they spent millions, if not
yeah,
billions, on their servers, but it's paying off today because they literally run the internet, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's where I feel like this technology is going, and that's where the real money is to be made. Even in gaming, I feel the same thing. The person to take the technology to show them that, oh, hey,
yeah,
NFTs can really be sold and make money for the people and for us at the same time. That's going to
yeah.
change gaming in its own.
Rent it out. So like a couple things. So I hear about that. Give you a quick story. Is I was actually almost going to work for one of the first companies that were doing the text code to hey, text your number to this and you're going to get a response. They sell the software behind that.
Yep.
So I thought it was so interesting, and I was like, man, I want to do it, but I didn't want to like go business to business and do it.
Yeah.
And like you get a residual income if you set up those accounts, and I'm
Yep.
like, man, if I would have just did it, I knew I could have sell the hell out of it.
Dude.
So
Well, we
it's
need to talk
crazy.
because look, one of the guys in my
But
building, he's the one who created the QR code, not QR code, promo codes that businesses use. Here's this promo code. You put it in this
yeah,
little thing. He's one of the guys that lives downstairs. He didn't create the whole thing, but his business does that. Bro, this dude, like, I mean, he's very well off. Like, and
yeah,
he told me, he's like, I never knew that I would be selling promo codes, and this dude made millions off of it.
that's
And
how it happens,
it's
man.
crazy. So
Well, what I was gonna tell you is the at the event too. That's the other thing is like with the gaming in the NFT space. I think people miss out like what this and I talked to the guy because I'm interested in using him for my project. If the community does vote to do gaming, well, they'll build you like a whole metaverse. Like really looks dope, kind of like the other side land, right?
yeah,
And then what they do is they allow you to rent your avatars. So, like for instance, I have a mutant ape.
right,
Instead of me having to sell it, if someone wants to go into that metaverse and rock my mutant ape,
right,
they're able to, and they have to pay me. And you can rent it out for a day, 3, 5, or 7 days.
right.
So there's so much that you can do in there when you can verify with through NFTs.
See, now what I would suggest going down that route is not creating your own metaverse, but building inside a metaverse that has good standing right now, which obviously is the other side deed, right? There are
Yeah.
lands with water on it that you guys can, what I would say is,
Oh, the pirates. Yep.
for the pirates, right? Your
Hmm.
pirates are there. You have all your pirates there. You build a whole village or whatever it may be, just like the Pirates of the Caribbean, all the people who literally live right off the water.
Yep.
But your next mint, and fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. Your next mint, give people boats. Don't give them a female because
Yeah.
everybody's done that. Oh, here's the
Well,
male
we
and
talked
female.
about that. It's funny you say that. Is one of the things we want to do is we want people to build their crew first, and then after they built
Ah,
their crew, then there's going to be more to it. Like we were talking about land, and then it's just complex because the thing with the boats is, um, do you make it like what Lazy Lion did with their bungalow, where it becomes like a banner, so it's always advertising for you, and then you can put your NFTs in it, or do you find a way to add it to a world? The problem with the world is so expensive right now,
yep.
and then if you create a bunch of boats, what can we do to verify that that boat don't get destroyed, and then you lose you
Well,
have
see,
nothing left. So
people are so simplistic right now that if you even did what Nike did, they gave everybody space pods. It's your
yeah,
own little mini metaverse, right? So here's your own little pirate ship. And in that pirate ship, like you
yeah,
said, you could show your NFTs. It's the hangout space. You could have a DJ. You could have bombs. I don't know, whatever the hell that you want to put
you
in
have a
there.
plank. Make
Exactly.
people fall off the plank. Uh-huh.
Exactly, right? You know what I mean? But you create that whole environment, give that to them, and then say the next
Yeah.
step is when we have our own metaverse or we do jump into another metaverse, that's your pirate ship. You can upgrade it. You can every day that you hold your pirate ship, you earn pirate coins, gold coins, and those
Yeah.
coins you can use to
Booty,
upgrade your
man. You
ship.
earn booty. Get it
Exactly.
right. You earn booty.
Exactly. You earn booty, but then every single step, oh, I want a bigger ship. Okay, well then that's gonna cost you a hundred
Yeah,
thousand
exactly.
gold coins.
Booty.
Booty,
100
exactly.
booty.
It's gonna cost you 100,000 booty, but one is gonna cause people to hold.
Yeah.
Two, it's gonna people want to build things. That's the thing right now. It's a flex. It's really a
Yes.
flex. You know, people were literally customizing these space pods down to the T, like spending money on it. Like they didn't care because it was just
Is
a
it no
cool thing.
different than what people do in Call of Duty and in Fortnite? And we talk about that.
Exactly.
They don't own it.
And then
Like, you don't own that. You don't.
exactly. And then whoever makes the dopest fucking boat, they can either have a ginormous pirate ship or they're just like, you know what, I'm gonna sell this and all
Take
that
a sec.
hard. Exactly. So you're giving
Mhm.
them an avenue to make money, to enjoy building. You know, that's what if you look at the terms of video games and how they pulled so many people to spend money on it, you're allowed to customize your cars. You can
Oh
customize
yeah.
your character. You can
Grand Theft Auto's been around for how long now?
thank
Grand Theft
you.
Auto 5.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Why? Because you could buy your clothes, you could buy your guns, you could buy your cars, you could buy your house. They made it so that basically people can create their own life inside these games, and that's what you want. You
Yeah.
want people to get so engulfed into your project that it's literally their second life, right?
Well, that's the balance, though. You see, and I'm glad you said that because that's the thing that we want people to be involved, but I also want them to be able to experience stuff in the real world.
Yeah.
And I think that gets missed in so many projects. It's like, okay, guess what? We're gonna be doing treasure hunts. Okay, so
Yes.
what we're gonna do is like Crypto Mike's based out of Texas. I'm in Florida,
Mhm.
and then we have friends like you guys that are out in LA. We have friends that are like Christine's in LA. We have friends that are overseas that I trust that I can go, hey, I need you to put this in this location.
Right.
And then we put it there, and then we play a game with the community where they have to get out of their damn house and they go treasure hunting. I worked for Dodge at one time, and they did this like adventure thing with the Dodge Journey when
Uh-huh.
it first came out, where they placed Dodge Journeys, like six of them in the United States in these locations that gave hints.
That's
And if you
crazy.
found it, you won the car.
That's crazy.
So, we want to do stuff like that and have buried treasure hunts and stuff like that. Just have fun with people. So, get them out of the house too sometimes.
Exactly. Exactly. We're so tired. I went outside yesterday. I was like, "Whoa. This is what it's like
This is what
outside."
it looks like.
Yeah, it's
It was
crazy.
like your NFT, the NFT they made you, the custom one, right? Where you're looking up like your profile picture.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yep, exactly. That's actually that was from one of my very first video on here, my introduction video. Somebody made that for me. I was so happy. I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cool." But
Uh-huh.
moving forward with the future and everything, we know we're in a bear market. Do you have any advice for the people just trying to get through these times? We know we're about to, I mean, we are in a recession, inflation's
Yeah.
going up. NFTs are great and it's fun, but yes, it's an investment at the end of the day. What advice do you have to people to just get through these times to survive, and those who are still trying to invest, to be careful?
One thing I've always done is I only invest what I'm willing to lose. Doesn't mean I want to lose it, but I don't, if I'm not going to afford enough money to pay my electric bill, my water bill, I'm not going to invest, first of all. Because when you invest into a project, whether it's crypto, NFTs, whatever it is, you're taking a risk. It's an investment, right? Literally, when you buy anything, it should say, like, this is a risk and it can go up or down in value.
Right,
So I think that's one thing we have to do as a community is teach people not. I get people like, man, I can't afford my rent now, and I'm like, you're an idiot. You shouldn't be in the space then.
right,
Like, don't unless you're just buying it. So I think that's one thing. The other thing is, don't feel like you have to jump in something without doing research. Like, don't feel like, oh, well, this is trending, so I have to buy it, unless
FOMO.
you're willing to lose it. Once again, don't have the FOMO because I use the analogy of it's like a train already took off and
Yes.
you're running behind it as fast as you can to catch up.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it hits the brakes, you smash into it and it starts reversing and just running over you. Because when it starts like dumping, it's just like, and then what do? You panic sell. And like
Yep.
me, since I'll give you a good example, like God hates NFT, right?
Mhm.
I wanted to mint those for free. I don't know what I was doing, but I wasn't paying attention. They minted. They took off. They had a lot of steam. I was able to get in really cheap still. I made some money on it. It pulled back. And the first pullback, though, I got scared. And I was like, oh crap, it's dumping. I've seen this before.
Yep.
And like I paper handed it. I'm like, yo, I'm selling.
Yep.
And then I seen it pit back up and I'm
You're
like,
like,
okay, you know
woo.
what? I was like, man, lesson learned. And I was able to make a profit on it by being a smarter investor the second time around, right?
Yes.
So it's one of those where you have to be able to take a step back. And another thing is don't be emotional.
Yes.
That is one of the things that is the biggest lesson is don't be emotional, but make sure you have a plan. This is my entry, this is my exit.
Right.
Now, if it gets below this point, I'm out. If it goes over this point, I'm out. Unless you're collecting. So unless you're riding for free or you're in a collector, straight collector, make sure you set yourself almost like a zone, a safety net of
Exactly.
profit and loss. When you get out of that project, even if it keeps running, don't feel regret on making money. I think people once again be emotional, and it's happened to me in trading options. I became a better investor when I was willing to go, okay, you know what? I sold it. I'm closing the account. I am not looking at it again.
Right.
I don't care. I'm not even going to follow them anymore. I do not want to know if it goes to $1 million or it goes to zero.
Yep.
None of my business.
Yep.
So, if you're in it to make money, like when you made your 100 grand, it was because you were not being emotional. You're like, I made my money, I'm out.
Yep.
Made my money, I'm out.
Yep.
That's how you do it. So,
Yep.
I would just say take your emotion out of it, use your head, be smart, do research, and have play money.
Yeah.
Don't use your rent money.
Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree. And we need to tell people. I know we get so much we have so much fun in the spaces, but there is a seriousness to it
Yeah,
also, and letting
for
people
real.
know those things, because I would tell you 9 times out of 10, every time that I've sold, I'm very happy that I did. And then there's that one time that project kept going up.
Yeah.
Right? There's that one time you're like, ah, shit, like I should have held on. But it's okay, because you know what? The other 9 times that I sold and took my profit, it may have gone up point 0.2 more, point 0.3 more, but that's okay. You'll
Yeah.
still live, because at the end of the day, I'm going back and checking those floor prices, even right now or 2 months ago before the bear market. I sold at the right time. And
Yeah.
and that's when you realize, is like, okay, you can actually do this, you can flip and make money. And there's nothing wrong with flippers, because one, it drives volumes for projects, but
How
everybody,
projects make their money.
yeah, exactly. and
Mhm.
and people are, oh well, you're flipping, you're not a hold, you're not a long-term holder. I have the projects that I want to hold long-term still, right? But at the end of the day, the ones that I flipped out, even the ones I thought was going to be my forever long-term holds, I'm not, I'm very happy that I did sell.
Yeah.
I'm very happy I sold out when I did, because you know why? Now I can go back and buy in and get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, because the
Yes.
floor didn't dropped. I took my profits at the top. I still love the project. I can go back in and get more.
And you help them with volume again. And you're buying
Exactly.
out the weekends, and people miss that. So it's like it's a rotating thing, right? It's going up, it's going up, it's going up. I sold, it's still going up, but I sold here. Now it's retracing. And as it's retracing, it's like, ooh, I really think long term these people were good. I
Yes.
see them executing on the vision they talked about. I think it's still a chance. Okay, let me buy a couple. You're still in
Exactly.
the profit. You got free ones,
Right.
so I get it. I think that's part of not being emotional, right?
Yes.
And taking the emotion out of it and using your brain. And it's just a fun space, though. I've met a ton of people, and I think that's the biggest thing is I've learned. I'm like Christine. I like to diamond hand, and I think the other part is communities. I put it back on communities when there is a problem. Communities not to they need to not be so harsh on the developers if they're executing something,
Yes.
but also the communities are the ones selling. It's
Yes.
not the developers most of the time. So
Yes.
unless if it's a rug, obviously a rug, then
Yeah.
whatever. But I'm talking about like the good projects, and I think that it's about educating. That's why I like our community. Um, I'm slow rolling it,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do 100 whitelist, and then I'm gonna do 100 more. My goal is to try to have it where, okay, the first 1,000 is a somewhat reasonable mint area I'm looking for,
Right.
and then from there we go to work, because now we have funds like you're talking about to reinvest, to market the project more, to go
Exactly.
ahead and go, okay, I have to pay this person to do a tweet about it, or to make them invest in it. Like I
Right.
have to pay them so they have interest in my project.
Yep.
So we're doing a slow roll where it's like, okay, just because we don't mint 10,000 and overnight doesn't mean the project's a failure. It means we just need to work more. It's where
Exactly.
we start. So yeah, man, I get it. I love this space. I think it's a lot of fun. I love being in something new.
Yep.
The space is new, and we also need to do a better job of explaining things when we are in communities because, like goblins, when it was less than one ETH, I remember Crypto Mike and I was like, man, what's this goblin thing at 0.08, but it's trending, it's going, and then I'm like, that art is ass. Like,
Right.
oh my god,
Same.
dude, I asked people. I did a space and I wrote goblins, and I was like, "What is this goblin thing about?" Like, I'm knocking it because I don't know what it is. So to me, it's going to be a rug.
Right.
But can someone come in here and tell me what it is? And they're like, "Oh, you know, people are doing spaces and you're making goblin noises, and it's fun." And I'm like, "Okay, I get that." I'm like, the art, yeah, the art looked like ash from far, but when you really look at it, you can see how much effort really did go into it, though, truthfully.
Yes.
Like, it really,
Yeah.
they put a lot of effort into it. And, I mean, you can see how many things have derivative of it now.
Yep.
That lets you know it was pretty good.
Yep.
But I'm like, and I had one guy come in, he gave us a little bit, but I was just like, no,
Yeah.
like I am not gonna buy it based off of that. Sell me, and nobody could sell me on it. And
Same.
then, yeah, it ran, and I'm like, it's going to have a huge retrace, and it did. And you know what? I will give them props because in NFT New York, they had their Goblin Burger thing. They provided things for their owners to sell. So obviously they have a lot of stuff that they've done where like at the Bored Ape thing, I mean the Central Florida thing, the DJ was a Bored Ape, and he, I guess he's known for doing DJ in the metaverse. He had the M hat on, the little
Yeah.
visor they
Yeah.
have. He had that on with his Bored Ape shirt.
Yeah.
So obviously he has a goblin too. So people had fun with it, and sometimes it shows you, people can have fun with a project and shill it and,
Yep.
and buy it up. So
It,
but money, every time I see a company, I say company, but an NFT project, it's a company, right? You're buying stock in a company.
yep.
Anytime you see where all of a sudden people tweet, "Hey, I just bought my first EXO," and yeah, look, oh, are you buying an EXO? Oh, what's the strongest community? Which one should I buy out of these four? It's like, yo, there's the marketers.
Yep.
It's the same thing again and again.
Yes.
And it's like followed by a pump in the beginning because
Yep.
they're putting money into it.
Yep.
But those people sell those NFTs, move on to the next one. They're constantly rotating. So
Yep.
even if you time that, you can buy in that FOMO moment and make money and get the hell out before that dies.
Yeah. And a lot of people think that shit's organic. It's not.
It's
As
not. It's
it's
not.
so built. If your timeline starts filling up with one project, please know that they are setting this up. The
Yep.
post your let's just say DGen tune. Post it
Yep.
below, and then what's the best community is the next post, and it has DGen tunes in there. And then you
Yeah.
see one thing that people don't know is you can go on Twitter and specifically put out keyword ads.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
I know that.
and
Yep.
people think, oh, well, my timeline is, and that's how I used to know that projects were about to trend. As soon as I started seeing it being boosted on all over my Twitter feed, I said, okay,
Yep.
I know what's going on here. And I buy into that project and you write it up and then boom, I'm out. Right?
SEO, SMO, all that stuff.
All of
Yep.
it. Keyword
Yep.
marketing. People forget because we're in Web3 now and keyword marketing was Web2, the very beginning of Web2.
Big time.
But this is,
Banners,
no,
everything.
everything. But yeah, no, I mean, it's
But like,
crazy.
how many followers do you have on Twitter?
6,000,
6,000. And how many does Christine have?
70,
70,000. Let's say that, right? 70,000. Now,
70,000.
yeah. So the thing is, right? Because I'm right around almost 11. The thing is, and the funny thing is, it's like, and people lose sight of this, okay? It's one of those where it shows how hard a good project has to make it in this space when she has 70,000 followers. Based off her followers and her engagement and your followers and your engagement, you should mint out every single month just
Easily.
off of her putting a tweet. There's people that will pay her to do a tweet about their project,
Yes.
yet she has her own project. And the funny thing with you guys and why I respect you guys, okay, above a lot of other projects, like Christine and I had a conversation about, I think we were talking about DGen tunes or something at the time, and I was like shilling her on it because I like it, and me and her had talked before when I was running a meme coin, and I was gonna bring her in as a community manager. So I was like, oh, Christine's cool, let me chat with her, and then she mentioned her project just like I'm busy, I'm getting my project together. I was like, what is it? And she told me about it. And I was like, oh, that's such a cool concept. How much is it? When are you guys minting? And that's how I found out about it. She didn't like post a bunch of stuff on her page. She didn't
Yeah.
shill it out. It was like your community is very organic. And I think but it shows like, truthfully, like you advise other projects and you help other projects and you know the struggle on your own. And like, bro, I've given away thousands upon thousands of dollars out of my personal money
Yes.
to you know to people. And when I do a project, in my mind I'm like, okay, these people are going to support me. And then I go and I do my project, and I in my mind I'm like, man, this is something I would invest in. I think it's cool. I like the art, I like the people behind it, whatever.
Yep.
And it's like, where is all these people at now?
Yeah.
It's very hard, and because it's like you said, it takes money. And literally at the event, I told the Bored Ape guy, he's a community manager, I said, I'm trying to break through the circle.
Yes.
I need to get in the circle because my project, as we're talking, I'm like, yeah, I'm giving away Corvette. He goes, oh, that's your project? I heard about it. And I'm like, so where the fuck are you?
Right.
Like, you heard about it, come, it's
Right.
ready. Like, I want. So it shows you that it's crazy that people do hear it, but until you know the alpha people, you know the groups, you
Right.
got the connections. It's like breaking in Hollywood or finding that job
Yep.
and having to know people.
Yep.
And a lot of these things are I listen to spaces, and I'm not going to say any project, but there was one project I was in that was a rug. There was another project I was in that pumped, and the people use, they distort their voice. And I'm telling Crypto Mike, this is the same people.
Oh, 100%.
It's the same. I was like, these are like college students
Yeah.
that are like in a clique that are literally making millions of dollars on all of us. We're their exit liquidity.
Yeah.
I can tell it's the same people. Like,
100%.
so,
That's
that's
why
where we got to be careful.
That's why Beanie got canceled in the space, because it finally came out that he was behind 13 different successful projects, and he is the reason. There is a circle that decides, or not decides, but they have that key code. They have the funding. Let's be real. They have the funding to basically make any project that they put out go, right?
All they
And
got to do is buy it. Look at
exactly,
Moonbirds.
exactly.
That's an alpha group that started.
Yeah,
It's all it is. It's an alpha group.
yeah,
There's stuff on OpenSea and Icy Tools that makes no sense. The art sucks. There's no roadmap. There's nothing. There's no founders. I got chewed out on Twitter, and it shows you how harsh this world is. There's a guy that jumped into our Discord, and he accused us of being not a real project. He's like, oh, the Discord looks put together. It was put together by us. He's like, the owners are not doxxed. And I was like, what? I was like, I am one of the most doxed person on Twitter. Go through my timeline,
right.
and then he just was like, oh, just a bunch of accusations. And I responded to one because in his bio it literally says, I've been rug pulled more times than I had sex. So I was like, no wonder
Oh,
why he's been rugged more times than he had sex. And I'm literally responding. And then I wrote, hey, but I am docs. You can check my thing, blah blah blah. So then he pulled the thing on the webpage where it has our PFP. We don't have our thing on there, which I'm going to add now because of it. I take it into consideration. So he was like, oh, there's another verification that it's a rug. They're defensive, and I'm like, what?
bro.
And then I answered him again, but I was like kind of nice, where I was like, yo, at the end of the day, blah blah blah, you can do whatever you want. And he was like, well, you shouldn't care about what anyone thinks. But he's over here calling me a rug for defending myself. And I'm
Yes.
just like, well, you're taking the time when I'm trying to build proper engagement to trash us, retweet it in the circle, and then come to find out the guy's in like a group, doxed. You're in
Yeah.
doxed.
Yeah.
He's in the doxed DM.
What?
So he must have seen my thing from doxed and joined, and he's over there trashing me.
Oh
So I
my
had some
God.
people who were vouching for me, and as they're vouching, he blocked the engagement to only people he follows. So
Wow.
if you went to him and you're not following him, and you were like, "Hey, Mike's a good dude. He's doxed, blah blah," you can't even tweet now. He blocked it.
Wow.
And I'm just like, this is the problem with the spaces. We have to realize, it can get bad. Cancer spreads very fast.
Yes.
And if you don't clip it and you don't get rid of it, it's just going to come back. So I
Exactly.
think we need to learn to let those people say what they want, but then we need the backing of the good people so we can cut that out and just, shut it down. And when people do that, you can see they're just full of it, that he couldn't take a
Yeah.
response back. So,
Yeah.
and
Of
we
course.
should defend ourselves. I think if you got nothing to hide, you can go, hey, look, this is legit. Look at this. This is me. I'm doxxed. That's why I was
Exactly.
like, when you said do this, I was like, oh, it's perfect. It's doxing again. Go figure.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, man,
See,
sure. And you're doxed too now. Watch out. We seen you with no shirt on and everything. You got
uh,
in trouble for that. Let me tell you, I tried to come on stage. I had my hand up. I was going to give you props as someone who goes to the gym and somebody who knows it. For me, I'm 38 years old, so it's harder for me, right? So I've been going for about a year, and I've been doing where I've been gaining more strength. And people don't realize the discipline, especially when you guys are always in the space.
yep,
The discipline to get your ass up early or go late,
man.
go to the gym, eat right. So people, Christine giving you a hard time, but deep down inside, trust me, her and everyone else, they were jealous. They were looking at you, they would go, man, he's killing it. So keep it going, bro. You should have. I would have left that picture up and been like before and after,
Right?
you know. So
I was just
they were
mad.
being.
I was just mad I
They,
posted it the wrong way.
well, that was the funny thing. You should have just flipped it so it was like the complete opposite on the next one and be like, I'm
Oh
just
my
kidding,
god,
guys.
man. That
Yeah,
was
man, that was funny though.
it
Hey,
was
as long as your girl likes it, right? That's all that matters.
exactly.
She's your IRL, so that's all
Yeah,
that matters.
exactly.
Hmm.
But no, I appreciate you taking the time and even like you said, doxing, doing this and just I mean, it's always fun to talk to you. But at the end of the day, I wanted to give you also a platform to talk about your project. I know I don't have that many followers yet on YouTube or or on Twitter, but I feel like this is going to be the basis where people can come and see what they want to hear for these projects because a lot of times, and I just want to put this out there before we, finish this up is guys, you guys have to realize how much work that these projects take. Yes, there's projects out there that just go and dump art and they say no promises, no roadmap, no Discord.
Yeah.
Great. That's not really a business. That's not really a project. You're just buying art. That's all
Yeah.
you're getting into. And you can't be mad if they rug your ass at the end of the day. I'm sorry. But
You still got the art. You
you
still get to
still
keep the art.
in the transactional basis, you put the money, you got a product, and they left. That's how I look at it. When I get rugged, I kind of put it like that. Is like I bought the product, I got what they were giving me, and then they decided that was it. But when you're buying into real communities, if you look at what the Bored Apes done, what the Doodles has done, what Psychedelics Anonymous has done, is they are building and it takes time to build. All of these $1 million businesses out there right now, they didn't pop up overnight. They're generations. Look at In and Out since what, like 1950? But now they're like the one of the everybody goes In and Out. Everybody. If you're
Yep.
in California, you're going In and Out. I don't care who you are.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But these businesses are built over time and people are so impatient. Let the projects build, continue to support where you can. Again, know your own financial situations, but know that this stuff takes time. The metaverse isn't even here yet. I don't know what people don't understand about that too. Bored Apes is barely getting out their beta testing, right? And their beta testing, they're rushing it because people are so impatient.
Well, look what's happening to their floor. People are selling. There was people that when they launched that project, I was trying to mint, and I use Coinbase, right? Coinbase wallet.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get ETH
Yeah.
into my account because the transactional fees were too high.
Yep.
Because people went ape shit
Yep.
on this project, right?
Yep.
So it shows you like with the FOMO what happened. I seen someone selling some other side land now with a coda on it and a weapon, and he paid 44 ETH for it, and he's selling it for 30 ETH.
Oh,
And it blows my mind because I'm like, yo, one, Ethereum's going up. Now it's I feel like you guys are talking about leg down, but it's one of those. It's almost like hitting this area here where
yeah, we're
it's either
getting
going to
there.
leg down or
Yeah.
it may break out too.
Yeah.
So you got to watch this area close. You hope you get support, but if it breaks support, you got to. I think the last leg down before we really find a better support and start stepping up. So it's one of those where if you're watching the market, unless you need to liquidate your asset because you need the money, which we
Yeah.
don't know their story,
Yeah.
I'm going. They just beta tested. I got to check it out. Did you get to check it out?
Mm-mm.
It was really cool. In fact, you got other side land, or did you liquid?
No,
You had it?
I
No.
haven't bought
Oh,
nothing worth of value, bro, to be honest.
I got you. It's cool, but the thing is too, by participating, there was 2,500 people in there. They gave us something that goes on our land too, so you get an
Nice.
exclusive thing for being in there. But it ran very smooth. Crypto Mike was in it first. I was at work. I logged in, kicked him out, and I took over for him. Um, it was really really cool. I was like, bro, I was like, are you still in? He goes, no. I was like, okay, that's me. It's my turn now. And it was one of those where it shows that's a $1 billion company. These crypto projects you invest in are not $1 billion companies. So you can't expect them to do that. They've been at it for a year.
Yeah.
And as much shit as people give Bored Apes, and we're not going to talk about racism and stuff like that. That's a
Yeah, yeah,
whole
yeah.
different subject. But when it comes to the actual company, the brand, they've done merch multiple times. They have celebrity endorsements. They have, their items are the IPs are being sold to companies, Old Navy and
Right.
Zoomies and all these things. They gave if you bought one, you got coins for free.
Yep.
You got land for free. You got dogs. You got mutants, multiple mutants.
Yep.
It's like they've taken their owners and leveled them up. Where I look at a board ape and I see a regular person, but there's other investors, new investors that go, well, you're a board ape, so you're like a celebrity.
Right.
And it's kind of funny how we look at it that way. And people need to realize, I always use this thing. I'm no different than anyone else. My car's paid for. I have a nice car. We have a nice house, and it's from work investments.
Right.
But I'm a regular guy. I'm no different than you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're no different than Christine.
Right.
We're no different than anyone else. At the end of the day, we're all people. So we can do it, they can do it, and we all can do it. So we need to stop looking at certain NFT people as better and think of us all as equals and kind of work together in the space.
Exactly. Exactly. That was perfectly said. I cheers to that. I don't know why
Here,
I'm drinking.
you can see I got my gallon of water I've been
I need to
chugging.
be drinking water, but I woke up this morning and I was dead because my girl worked last night and I stayed up like to just text with her while she's on her breaks and
You
stuff.
weren't writing notes?
Yeah, nah. Last night I was just texting. I was playing Apex till like 4 o'clock and texting her in between her breaks and stuff. And I went to bed at 5. I was like, oh my god, I was dead. But no, that was perfectly said. We need to support in this place. And guys, also with the Bored Apes, just remember, if you go look at Call of Duty, you go look at Fortnite, you go look at any game that they are building with the same platform that Bored Apes is building, that took them a minimum of 5 years to create that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is not something that
Absolutely.
is created overnight. People do not understand creating metaverses is not just something you could throw together in 1, 2, 3 months, 6 months, or a year. To build something worth quality and worth
Yeah.
your time, it's going to take them 2 years. But best believe when that game comes out, and if it is close to a AAA standard, that might be what takes NFTs to the next level.
And ApeCoin.
Right,
I mean, can you imagine if ApeCoin's gonna be the transactional token,
right,
and imagine if it's like to me, that's where I look long term, and I'm like, okay, well, I got to see this is real,
right.
right? So as I start seeing, okay, well, transactions are happening, I'm gonna go, okay, well, you know, a heads up, this isn't financial advice, but I'm waiting for people that are able to unlock their tokens that got in initially to sell
Yep,
because then I'll be looking to buy.
yep,
Until that point, I've been kind of like staying away from ApeCoin, just because I feel like people need liquid, and you'll have people, especially that are big. It's like shareholders in
yeah,
stock market. Elon Musk,
yeah.
hey, I can't sell my stock for a year. Okay, well when that year hits,
I'm selling.
I'm selling
Yep,
exactly. So I'm trying to find my good timing with it, but you're 100% right. There's people that use Unreal Engine; they're able to move it quicker because it's already a platform developed.
yep,
But they're pretty much building from scratch, and it's
yeah,
it's impressive because there was a lot of people in there. It didn't glitch. I mean,
yeah,
it was very impressive. I
yeah.
can say that.
And they're taking, I was even being told about the spatial technology and all that stuff that they're trying to incorporate. Those are things that if you play games, you know that that stuff's not in there yet. And it's
Well, look
not,
at NBA 2K. You can scan the face, and it looks like
yeah, exactly.
it looks bad.
Right, exactly. So we're getting there, and I think
Yeah.
even the new technology for video games is coming. I had a VR company come reach out to me just yesterday talking about they want to tap into the Web3 space, but they just don't know how. But their VR technology is crazy. Like, I mean, I would like they had a TV or a TV or a room or whatever it is. You walk in with their headset and you're immersed into the game, and you could do that at home with your normal walls. I was just like,
Yeah, even
whoa.
with your phone, a lot of them have it where you could use your phone and you're using
Exactly.
your phone as
Yeah.
the augmented reality basically.
So we're getting there. We're just not there yet. And obviously the world is shit. So everybody stay safe, invest smartly, and just survive through these times. But
Yeah, be responsible, 100%, man. This was
exactly.
fun.
Yeah. It was fun. And I appreciate you guys. And everybody, I'm gonna put Mike's socials down below. The Twitter for his own page. I'm gonna put the Twitter for his project. So make sure you guys go follow and show some love. And if you guys haven't yet, make sure you guys check out the project. We love what Mike's doing. Go and support the man. and we're going to be there, and everybody is going to be there supporting whether the project sells out right away or not. We are building for long term here, guys, and so that's what it's all about. But Mike, to send us off, what's your last words?
I mean, just everyone, like you said, be safe. Make sure you invest right. Make sure you're financially responsible with it, and reach out to people that are willing to help. I always tell people my DMs are always open, and I'm always happy to help people. I'm not going to give you a hand me out because you're not going to learn that way. But
Exactly.
if you need someone to talk to, financial advice, credit advice, whatever, I'm happy to help through the struggles that I went through and had to learn.
Right.
And I always tell people, no matter where it is in the world you are, morning, afternoon, and evening, we appreciate you. And check out Golden Ticket Club. Don't let him sleep on that, too. Golden Ticket Club with him and Christina's amazing project. As an investor, I can tell you, I've won more than I lost. I put in a good amount of money when I do it every month. And the
Man.
whole purpose of that is because I want to stack the odds. And if more people did the same thing, there'd be better prizes for all of us. So support Golden Ticket Club, not just Pirates of the Blockchain, but we'd be happy to have you in both. Put it that way.
Exactly, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys catch episode 3. But big shout out to Mike again, and we will catch you guys later. Peace.
Peace.